of Section 33 of the County Government Act, the process moves to the Senate from the County Assembly. Within 7 days after receiving notice of a resolution from the Speaker of the County Assembly confirming the passage of the impeachment motion, the Speaker of the Senate must convene the meeting of the Senate to hear the charge against the governor. The charges can be heard in the Senate plenary or in a forum of a special committee of the Senate that reports to the full Senate. In either case, the governor is entitled to attend and to be represented by counsel during the investigations. It is only when sufficient evidence is presented to substantiate the claims that the Senate will accordingly, according the governor an opportunity to be heard, vote on each of the charges. If a majority of all the members of the Senate vote to uphold any of the charges, then the governor shall cease to hold office. We reiterate that proof of even a single charge will be sufficient for purposes of Article 181 of the Constitution. But should the vote for removal fail, that brings the proceedings to an end. End of quote. That pronouncement represents that settled and binding position of law. We are constitutionally obliged to follow it, and we do so without reservation, notwithstanding the views which we express above. We observe in passing that although the Supreme Court pronouncement in Sonko was referred in the context of interpreting the County Government Act, the provisions of the Act mirror the virtual identical terms, the language of the Article 145 of the Constitution. That correspondence reinforces its application to the present matter.
We now move to the final issue that we considered, and that is the issue of a fair trial. The gist of this issue turns on whether His Excellency Gachagua was subjected to a lawful and fair trial process within the meaning of Articles 47 and 50 of the Constitution. The petitioners contended that the Senate's conduct of the impeachment trial was fundamentally and irreparably flawed, falling far short of the constitutional standards of fairness, legality, and procedural propriety granted to His Excellency Gachagua under the stated provisions. Their challenge on this ground was advanced on several distinct and cumulative bases. They argued that His Excellency Gachagua was denied his right to a fair trial when, having fallen ill and being hospitalized on the 17th of October 2024, the Senate refused adjournment request and proceeded in his absence, ultimately voting on 5 of the impeachment charges. That the Senate was constitutionally bound under Article 145(3)(b) and 145(4)(6) to appoint a special committee of 11 members to investigate the charges. By defeating the motion to establish such a committee and proceeding by plenary, the Senate deprived him of his right under Article 145(5) to appear and be represented before an independent investigative body. Insulated from political pressure, and that the time afforded to H.E. Gachagua was grossly inadequate, only a few days to respond to 11 complex allegations, and just 2 hours to present his defense compared to the extensive time given to the National Assembly. The respondents in defense maintained that the Senate had accorded His Excellency Gachagua a lawful and fair trial consistent with Articles 47 and 50 of the Constitution, that the Senate acted reasonably by granting a short adjournment and offering a further extension to 19 October 2024, and when the formal motion was defeated, they submitted that discretion had been properly exercised, especially since no medical evidence was produced. They maintain that the Constitution conferred discretion to proceed by way of a special committee or plenary under Article 145(3)(b), and denied that new evidence or witnesses were introduced